Hello and welcome. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit today about time management. Hi, I am Des Coleman, and I am a board of directors member in Canada. And I'm super excited to be training you guys a little bit about time management. And I do have some things that in here that have worked for me. Okay, hopefully you guys can get control of your time and your life. You guys can get control of your time and your life only by changing the way you think, work, and deal with never ending the river of responsibilities that flow over you each day. You can get control of your tasks and activities only to the degree that you stop doing some things and you start spending more time on a few activities that can really make a difference in your life. Okay. So, if you guys are like me, I am a mother and this is my full time job. I'm a single mom of four babies, and my kids are 10, 8, 3, and 2. So, how can I juggle all of this? So, I'm going to go over a few things. It is going to be your dump list. So, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about a dump list, what it is, how it works. I'm going to talk to you about some frogs, prioritize, schedule, and then I have a couple of top tips as well. Okay, so let's get started. Hopefully, you guys are all going to feel a little bit more normal because I do believe that everybody does struggle with sometimes organizing everything that's going on in their life. Okay, so I've given you guys an example of what a dump list could look like. Um, this is an example of mine. It's an old one, but you guys can see that a dump list is basically writing down absolutely everything that is on your mind. Okay. So everything from things that you need to do in business, in your business, if you've got school, if you've got kids, if you've got kids activities, if you guys have a day job, any kids sports or lessons, anything personal that you have to throw in there as well, write it all down. So the dump list, this is an activity I encourage you guys to do it today. Pen to paper is actually best, but if you'd rather, you can do it in the notes section on your mobile device like I did, because you guys probably wouldn't be able to read my handwriting anyway. I've given you guys an example of what it can look like. Start off with all the things that are constantly popping up in your mind throughout the day, those things that you're going to remember to do later. Okay. Once they're written out, you guys can start working towards them and crossing them off the list. And you guys can create a master list. And you guys can also have different lists for different purposes. Um, but once you guys have these off of your brain and all written down physically on a piece of paper or in your phone, you guys are going to have a huge sense of relief that, okay, now I can do something about it. So we are going to now talk to you guys about eating frogs. So it's been said that if the first thing you do each morning to eat a live frog, you can go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that it's probably the worst thing to happen to you all day long. So your frog is going to be your biggest, most important task, the one you're most likely to procrastinate on, and you don't if you don't do something about it. Okay. The first rule about eating frogs is this: if you have to eat two frogs, you're going to eat the ugliest first. The second rule is if you have to eat a live frog at all, it doesn't pay to sit and look at it very long. Okay. So, okay. So that's a little bit about eating frogs. And if you guys have read the book called Eat That Frog, this is where I get a lot of my notes from to share with you guys. And this is a lot of the practices that I've put in play with my own personal business. And then there's other tips that I have for you at the end as well. So having a routine is great, but only if it's going to serve your goals. If it's not doing that, it's called a rut. Okay. All right. So now that you guys have your dump list written out and figured out, it is time to prioritize the list. Okay. This is a method that it is in the book by Brian Tracy. It's using the ABCDE method. Okay. So A tasks are items defined as very important. So A tasks are very important and often they have a very serious positive or negative consequence if you do it or fail to do it. So examples of these would be placing orders, um, mailing orders, and answering messages. You can have more than one A-list items. You simply prioritize them by labeling them as A1, A2, A3, etc. Okay. So your B tasks are going to be the ones that you should do. B tasks are should do items, meaning that they're not obviously as important as, and they have only mild consequences if they don't get done. So checking your emails, I rarely check my email. It's definitely not the first thing that I do in a day. Okay. So with B task items, you can't move on to a B task item until all of the A tasks are completed. Okay. Now, C task items are going to be the ones that are nice to do. These are something that would be nice to do, but there's no consequence whether you do it or not. So, phoning a friend, going for lunch with a coworker, things like that. These don't really have an effect on your work life. So there's something that aren't obviously an A task because they're not going to be at the top of the list. Okay, your A task items should be money making activities or business building activities. Okay, D tasks. This is where you, as a business owner, need to let go of the reins and delegate some of the simple tasks that can be handled by others. This could be as simple as having someone package orders for you. Hello, personal website. Or this could also mean having someone doing like the cleaning or laundry around the house, leaving more time to do the A tasks. So again, there are different lists for different reasons. So with your business tasks, it could be as simple as someone packaging orders up for you, or it could be labeling your mail that has to go out. Like if you have any love mail or team mail, things like that, you can definitely get an assistant to do that for you. Sample packets, things like that you don't have to do personally yourself. This is something that you can delegate off to others. Okay. The less time you spend on doing these simple tasks that aren't bringing you income, the more time you have for your A task items. Okay. E-tasks, these are tasks that you want to eliminate. So e-tasks are something that it doesn't really make a real life difference. It may have been important at one point in time and it's no longer relevant to you. So personally, like painting a wall, it might have been something that was on your list to do, but it's not important to you guys anymore, okay? So when you guys prioritize the lists and you go through and you sort them and you go through your A's, your B's, your C's, and if you do have more than one A, more than one B, that's okay. That's normal. We all have a ton of stuff going on in our lives, and you're not alone. Okay. You guys might have a ton of things to do. But it is something that you guys can prioritize. Once you have figured out all of the important tasks, that's when you guys can go back and you guys can have the A1, A2, A3, and then you guys know where to start. So I am just going through my notes so I don't forget anything for you guys. You're only human, right? I'm only human. Okay. So forced efficiency. So the law of forced efficiency says that there is never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do the most important thing. So put in another way, you cannot complete every task on the list. You won't be able to, but you can tackle the biggest and ugliest one, and that will be enough for at least the time being. So you're going to feel good getting done the biggest, awfulest one, and then you can delegate or eliminate the ones that aren't super important. And if you do get to the B's and the C's on the list, perfect, as long as the A's are done and out of the way. So when you're running out of time and you know that the consequences of not completing a key task or project can be a really serious consequence, you always seem to find the time to get it done, often at the very last minute. Shout out to myself because I have done this before. Okay. So I mean, I really hope that you guys don't feel like you guys are alone in trying to juggle and schedule and task like all of these different tasks all at once, because you're not. Okay. All right. So what now? All right. So first of all, we're going to lay it all out on a weekly schedule. Okay. You are going to get a scheduler, a planner, even if it's just a blank piece of paper. Okay. You're going to have your dump list over here, and you're already going to have them marked off with A to E on what it is that you're needing. Okay. Keep the list, obviously, because your list can shift and it's going to come in handy as well. So start with your A task items, and you're going to start putting them in for the next day. So I suggest that you guys start this now. If you guys don't have a dump list, already do it, start it now. But do this every Sunday to start your week off strong. Lay out a weekly schedule every Sunday so you have a clear view of what your week is going to look like with work, appointments, meetings, kids' activities. Get those A list prioritized so you know which one that you need to tackle first. You got to eat that frog, okay? It's going to feel so good after getting it completed that you guys are going to get addicted to this, okay? So you guys are going to develop a positive addiction to crossing off the daunting, awful tasks, but it's going to feel so good. Okay. So you can actually develop positive addiction to endorphins and to the feeling of enhanced clarity, confidence, and competence that they will trigger. Okay. So start your day off with a list of priorities for that specific day. And then when life throws other tasks at you, because it will, let's be real, we're real humans, then you can set those aside and you can focus on the list that you already have that you're working on for today. Okay. And then you guys are going to get to do the 3 Ds and form a new habit. Okay. The decision to develop a healthy habit and get the tasks done. You're going to have to discipline yourself to practice the principles until they become automatic. And then back everything up with determination. Finish tasks and make the good habits permanent, okay? Making sure that when you guys are working, you're working and not just chit-chatting or being distracted. And I'll get to that in a little bit as well. All right, so set the table. Clarity is perhaps the most important concept in personal productivity. The number one reason why some people get more work done faster is because they're absolutely clear about their goals, objectives, and they don't deviate from them. A major reason for procrastination is vagueness, confusion, and fuzzy mindedness about what you are trying to do and in what order and for what reason. Okay. The greater clarity you have regarding what you want and the steps you will have to take to achieve it, the easier it's going to be for you to overcome procrastination. You guys, I wish I would have known this like so long ago. And it's often a really good thing for me to go back and do a refresher because there are so many times where it's just easy to kind of fall into a funk and start back from square one. You're human. Okay. Okay. So I've got a couple of top tips here as well. So this one here is top tips is plan the night before. Okay. Think on paper. Always work from a list. If you start your day off willy-nilly, kind of like, oh, I forgot to do this, it's because it wasn't written down. It's because you didn't make it a priority. I've definitely done this before. So paper is something that if you do have a paper planner, wonderful. If you don't, that's okay. I've got a couple of things coming for like electronics as well. So thinking on paper and always working from a list, this is going to make sure that you guys tackle those A task items. So those are going to be the ones that those are going to be your income producing. Okay. Those are going to push your business ahead. Go to bed with very set and clear intentions for the day can only set you up for success. I've never heard of clear intentions backfiring on anyone yet. Okay. Thinking on paper and always working from a list, you'll be amazed at how much more productive you become and how much easier it's going to be to eat that frog. Because then you're not trying to rack your brain first thing in the morning what you have to do for the day. Okay. Work wardrobe. This is something that I've gotten from a few different consultants in the business, and I think it is absolutely genius. So, a work wardrobe. Now, you get to pick what you work best in. If you are a stay-at-home mama, that is okay. So, make the mornings easier by laying out your clothes the night before or having a set go-to part of the closet where you don't have to overthink about what you want to wear for the day. Okay. If you're a stay-at-home mom, onesies are acceptable so long as you can still be productive in them and not just want to mope around and sit on the couch. Okay. So the point is to spend less time on relatively unimportant parts and pieces of the day so you can spend more time on your money making activities. Okay, next one. Do not pick up your cell phone until all of your morning to-dos are done. And I repeat that. Do not pick up your phone until all of your morning to-dos are done, okay? Whether that's a shower, breakfast, workouts, meditation, etc. You need to stay off your phone until you have your morning routine completed. For you to stay calm, clear-headed, and capable of performing your best, detach on a regular basis from technology that overwhelms you. When you guys hear all of those dings and notifications going off, it's such a distractor and it deters you from, the goals and the progress that you've already made in the day. So, don't pick up your phone in the morning. Don't check your email in bed. If you have to have it as an alarm clock, make sure that you have it away from your bedside stand and that you have to get out of bed to shut the alarm off. Okay. But don't go on it until all of your morning to dos are done. And you won't have to be on it because you're going to write those to dos down on a piece of paper, right? Okay. So, discipline yourself to treat technology as a servant, not as a master. The purpose of technology is to try to make your life smoother and easier, not to create complexity, confusion, and stress. All right, this next one. This one is for all the mamas. This is something that I picked up from my girl Jen English. This is something that she's definitely helped me with as well. Keeping the kids in the office. I know oftentimes being a stay-at-home mom, you're so distracted with, oh my gosh, I got to switch laundry over. Oh my God, we got to feed the kids, all of these things. So keeping the kids in the office and you can clean the mess when you're finished your A task items. So this is the tip that I picked up from Jen. If you do have young kids, a couple of suggestions. These ones are keeping them with you in the office, then the mess is only confined to one room. So often, if your kids are running all over the place, there's every room in the house that gets messed up or they're getting into something that they're not supposed to be. But if you keep them in the office, just focus on your A task items and then you can clean up that one mess when you're finished. And it makes the day so much easier because it's only one thing to clean. You know that they're safe, you know that they're going to be okay. Keep them with you and just get your A task items done. Okay. Another cool thing that Jen had told me about was go to the Dollar Tree or Dollarama, okay, and get them activities to do while mom's working. It's also known as a busy box. So this is something that you can do. Go to the Dollar Tree, pick up puzzles, um, washable, washable, not permanent markers. Wonderful. Um, Puzzles, books, coloring tools, squishies, all of those different fun things that the kids are going to want to play with. But here's the trick: they only get to play with the busy box when mom is working in her office. So now, now who wants their mom to go to work so they can play with all of their fun, cool toys, right? Another really great thing that I started doing, and it worked out really, really well for me, was that I would actually gradually start waking up earlier and earlier throughout the day to be able to work when my kids were still sleeping. So eventually I started waking up at 5 a.m. and I would get sometimes 2 to 3 hours of solid working in before my kids were even awake. And that was the beautiful part, was that it was uninterrupted, it was quiet, it was peaceful, it was glorious. And I was able to get a lot of my work done without having my little busy bodies awake for the day. Okay. And then I could shut off business mode because all of my need to do tasks, all of my A tasks were already done by the time my kids got up. Okay. And that was when, and then I could obviously put on my mom hat and be mom for the day and still feel efficient in my business and still feel like I did those money producing, income producing activities. So this one was another great one. I know, like, I wear a watch during the day, but it's often that I often forget if I'm not constantly checking what I'm supposed to be doing for the day. So setting alarms for important daily tasks so you don't lose track of time. This one's amazing because you're going to do it the night before when you're planning everything. You are going to talk to your phone. If you've got an iPhone, you can tell Siri to set some stuff up for you. If you don't have an iPhone, I have no idea what your person's called, but you got a person. You just got to figure out the name and you can have them set alarms for you. Okay. This way you don't lose track of time. You don't miss important meetings. These could be things such as for personal, it could be like doctor's appointments or things like that, or kids' sports. But for business, it could be something as simple as following up with a personal um, following up with a potential new team member, making sure that you're on these training calls, making sure that you're not missing out on pure business or things like that. Setting those alarms and having the information within those alarms is really handy. So that way, when the alarm pops up, you can log into the Zoom, you've got the password there. You don't have to go back digging through emails. The easier you make this for yourself, and planning ahead of time, it makes it so much more easy for you guys, and it's going to make your life a whole lot more efficient, I promise you. Okay. So the next one, this one's huge too. Shut off all notifications. Put on the do not disturb mode for 0 interruptions. I cannot stress how important it is to turn off all of your notifications, you guys. Put on the do not disturb so you have 0 interruptions to sidetrack you. Put your head down and focus on completing the most daunting task as fast as you can. Once they're complete, you're going to feel incredible. The worst of the day is over with already. Hooray! And you guys can then move on, okay? So, time management is a means to an end. The main reason to develop time management skills is so that you can complete everything that is really important in your work and free up more and more time to do things in your personal life that give you the greatest happiness and satisfaction. Okay. So, fully 85% of your happiness in life will come from happy relationships with other people, especially those closest to you, as well as the members of your family. The critical detriment of the quality in relationship is the amount of time that you can spend face to face with the people you love and who love you in return. The purpose of time management and getting more done in less time is to enable you to spend more time, more face time with the people you care about, doing the things that give you the greatest amount of joy in life. Okay. There's a rule. It is the quality of time at work that counts and the quantity of time at home that matters. Okay. So the faster you get all of these things done and out of the way, the more time you're going to be able to spend for the important parts of your life. Okay. So, one of the most helpful of all time management techniques is for you to get better at your key tasks. Personal and professional development and improvement is one of the best time savers there is because the better you're at your key task, the more motivated you are to launch into it. The better you are, the more energy and enthusiasm you have. And when you know you can do the job well, you find it easier to overcross the procrastination to get the job done faster and better than any other circumstances. So the rule is continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. I'm going to repeat that, okay? Continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. So, as our founder, Miss Patty Brisbane, always says, always stay a student. So, for all of you ladies that are showing up to these trainings that we're putting on and providing for you guys, that's exactly what you're doing. You're showing up, you're staying a student, and you're learning something. And hopefully, it's going to be moving your business in the right direction. Okay. So, And it all starts with a win. So I really hope this super short, brief training that I've done for you guys is going to help with you growing your business and being a little bit more productive and to finding time to plan ahead and stop procrastinating. Okay, that only just adds on more stress than it has to. So I hope that helps. And I will be here if you guys have any questions that you guys need answered. And if you guys have time, Eat That Frog. I really highly recommend that book. That's a great one for um, obviously stopping to procrastinate, helping manage your time and give you guys less stress and more enjoyable time with your family doing what you guys want to do. So that's my training. I hope you guys enjoyed. And thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see if I can stop this recording. Um, Y'all, you don't have to be good at technology because if you're not, that's me too. I don't know what I just did. And stop recording. Yay.